Okay, let's go ahead, stand up. Feet under your pelvis, just grounding for a moment. Because ultimately we're gonna be fine. We have our Pilates to reconnect, so thankfully for that. So feet hip width apart, ground down through your feet and grow long and tall through your spine, just turning the abs on just by using good posture. Let's take a nice big inhale up. Exhale it out. One more time, big inhale up. Exhale to your slow roll forward to your toes. So you can bend your knees here for the first forward fold of the day. And just soften, let everything hang. Really bend the knees for a moment and just let your spine release. And just let your head pull your spine down. So softness in the knees is going to allow you to not pull on the hamstring so much, but release in your spine. Take a breath there. Start to lift the sits bones a little higher to the sky, straightening out the legs. And then let's begin to walk forward into your plank position. So coming to me in your plank position, hands underneath your shoulders, legs long. Inhale, exhale to downward dog, lifting your sits bones high to the sky. Again, you can have a soft knee here. You don't have to have straight legs yet. You can run the legs out, starting to find some length. Breathe, centering, and let's press those heels back, rounding your spine forward into your plank, long neck, draw the abs up and in, and then back up into your downward dog. Inhale and exhale, rounding forward into your plank. Here we're gonna bend the knees, almost touch the mat, and straighten the legs. Bend the knees to almost touch the mat and straighten the legs. A few more like that. Keeping the shoulders over the wrists. You always have the option to be on your forearms if your wrists are hurting. And then back up and into downward dog. Take a breath there. Let's take the right leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open the hip so we can stretch open the right hip and oblique. So really let the weight of the leg pull you open. And breathe into that right side oblique. Pressing the floor away from you. And then square the hips, step the foot through the hands, and rotate your right hand up to the sky. And really reach the fingertips up, get longer. Unwind the spine here. One more breath there. And then bring the hand back down. Stepping back into your plank, float the right leg up, point the toes, little pulses up. Firming up the glute. And lower that leg, left leg up, pulse the leg up. And lower that leg down, back into your downward dog. And we'll take the left leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open the hip. And just let the hip open. So thinking about the stretch, not really keeping a certain form, but letting that weight open up that left side. And then square the hips, step that foot through the hands, taking the left hand up to the sky, and breathe there. I don't know about you guys, my spine is like popping back into place. And then we'll bring that hand back down, step the foot back into your plank, bend the knees to come down to the mat, press back, take a child's pose. And take a breath there. So the knees can be wide. Letting your bum go back to your heels, reaching the fingertips forward. Take 2 breaths there, finding some length in your spine, even as we're here in our child's pose. Breathing into that mid back. And then you're gonna round your spine up and onto your hands and knees. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the pelvis, rounding into your cat. And head up, tailbone into your cow. Into your cat with your breath, finding some opening in the spine. But like now, especially because it just got really cold. So we're walking around outside and really tense to keep warm. So let's find some mobility in the spine. And then we'll meet back in our neutral spine, drawing the belly up and in, and extend the right arm and the left leg at the same time. Really reach through your fingers and your toes. So find a little moment there and then bring the hand and the knee right back down. Minimum movement in the pelvis, other side. So lengthen and find a little moment when you're out there. Draw those abs in a little bit tighter and back to center. 4 more at your pace, but get a moment out there so you find your balance. You turn the abs on and then you can return to center. So going at your own pace. As the arm extends, can you slide your shoulder away from your ear? As the leg extends, can you firm the glute to find a little more length in that leg and holding it up higher? 2 more each way. Try not to sink into your low back. That's where those abs come in to balance you. This is the last one each way. And then we'll meet back with the right arm extended, left leg extended. And just hold there. Open the arm and leg away from the body and then return it to center. Get the leg up a little bit higher by squeezing the glute. Open away from the body and center. Can you find a little more length? 1 more time like that. Hold it center, then round your spine for the knee and the elbow to connect under your belly. And lengthen. Pull in. Extend. Draw those abs in. 1 more like that. Extend and hold. And return to center. 1 time into your cat. And into your cow. And back to neutral. Left arm, right leg. So the shoulder blade away from the ear. Firm up the glute. We open the arm and leg away from the body. In center. Open and center. Long neck. 1 more. Bringing it back to center. Round the spine, the knee and the elbow connect. And extend. Pull the knee and the elbow to connect. And extend. 2. And last one. Extend and hold. And then hand and knee down. Roll the toes under. Draw the abs in. Hover the knees an inch up off the mat. Send your sits bones to the back. Slide the shoulder blades down, draw the belly in, and just hold in your hover and lower the knees down. Turn your fingertips to your knees and just take little circles here, stretching out the forearm. Getting some mobility in the wrists and reverse it. And bringing it back to center. Turn the fingertips back to a start position. Draw the abs in. Hover the knees an inch up off the mat. Rotate the eye of the elbow forward. Shift your weight slightly forward and then micro bend the elbows and straighten. Bend and press. So the elbows are bending backwards. For 3, pull the abs in. Last one, knees down. Back of the hand down, fingertips to the knees. Stretching here. Now just slightly lean backwards, stretching out the forearm. Relax the shoulders. 2 more breaths there. I don't know, this one might be for me and my camera wrists, maybe not for you guys, but for me, this is doing the most. And bring it back to center. Fingertips back to start position. Draw the abs in. Hover the knees again 1 more time. Pull the right knee into the chest. Kick the right leg long. Pull the knee in and kick it long. You could also just stay in your hover. 2. Last one, don't let your head fall over your shoulders. Come back to your hover. Left knee draws into the chest. Extend. Press the back of your skull slightly to the ceiling, just so your head's not falling off your shoulders. 2. Last one, meet in your hover. Hold, hold, hold. Draw the abs in, and then knees down, press back. Child's pose, take a breath. Reach the fingertips a little further forward. Send your sits bones a little bit further back to your heels. And then walk your hands over to the right side. Find a little more length through the left side body. Pushing your left sits bone back to your left heel. Breathing into that space between the ribs on the left side, expanding your lungs on the left side. And back to center and other side. We don't want to just shorten the muscles. We want to find length. So we want to continually stretch and lengthen. So then when we're activating the muscles, we can keep them long and strengthen them there, not shortening. Take a couple more breaths into that right side. And then we'll walk the hands back to center and just slide yourself out onto your belly. Coming all the way down onto your stomach, folding the forearms together and glue the forehead to the forearms. Here, just relax everything out. Shake your pelvis side to side. Let go of any tension in the sacrum. And then just take a couple breaths, noticing your abs drawing up. Also, adjust your body so that your ribs can draw into your body. So make sure that the whole front side energizes up into your back, into your spine. Relax the shoulders, keeping the toes pressing down into the mat. Micro lift the upper body. Draw the abs in. Upper body is just going to do a small float up. Lift your elbows a little bit and then lower. So keeping the movement small to start. And lift. Maybe you come up a little bit higher and lower. So it's that airplane taking off and going forward, not straight up. It's a lengthen out of your pelvis. Can your spine get longer as you do that lift? One more time. Lift your elbows slightly and lowering it down and relax everything up. Let's lift the right leg, extending the toes long away from you, keeping that right hip point pressing down and lower. And other side. So both hip points evenly press into the mat as you lift the leg any amount that allows the pelvis to stay in neutral. Drawing the belly in. Last one, single leg, but you can always stay with single leg. We'll float both legs up and then little circles away from each other. Firming up the bum. Shoulders relax. And reverse it. And last one, lower the legs down and shake the pelvis out. Send the arms long to the front. Slide the shoulder blades away from the ears. Take a breath there. Let's make sure the pelvis is staying in neutral and then float arms and legs up off of the mat and start to swim. Slow swim to start. Think about all the length and then start to go a little faster. Kick, kick, alternating arm and leg, long neck for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Refold the arms, lower everything down, and just take a breath there. And we'll press back into our child's pose. One breath there, and then make your way up onto your booty, grabbing your band or your ring or whatever you're going to use for stretching and activating in your back. I think I need to open up the window. It was very cold in here and now it's starting to get a little warm. Okay, so come to sit on your bum. And just notice where your body is right now. And then we press the sits bones down. And imagine someone's got the tip of your ears and pulling you up out of your spine, or out of your pelvis, just a little bit. So you just grew a little bit longer. Relax the shoulders. Give the ring, the block, whatever you have, a squeeze. Or if you have a band, press out into it. Make sure it's around your wrist. And then just tuck your pelvis and roll halfway back. Legs stay where they are. You just slide your tailbone underneath you. Relax the shoulders. And then coming all the way up to sit. Inhale, exhale. And all the way up to sit. Give the ring a squeeze or press out into your band. You could be holding a ball, anything that's just going to give you a little activation in your mid-back muscles. Hold this one back. With that tailbone underneath you, drawing the abs in and just squeeze or pulse out. So just that activation through that area right under the shoulder blades. Tuck your pelvis a little more, pull your belly in for 5. And last one, sitting up tall. Inhale, exhale, let your neck release and roll back again, halfway. Holding here. Try to soften your quad. Pull the abs in and micro lift your right leg up off the mat and lower and micro lift the left. It's a tiny lift. The arms are long in front of you with that beach ball hold but I want you to lift your elbows just slightly. So there is an activation in the arms from the back. And then the abs are helping you to lift that leg. Keeping it small is going to help to really use the abs and not the hip flexor and the quad. Last one, each way. Bring it back to center and gently roll all the way down to the mat. Take a long stretch here. Inhale, exhale, peeling yourself all the way up and over to your toes. Rounding, 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 reaching forward, and then roll back halfway. Shoulders relax down. Halfway back, hold. Legs stay still, twisting your torso over to the right. Reaching over to the right. And rotate back through center. Make sure the feet didn't move. Twist over to the left. And back through center. Go back 1 little inch. Sliding your tailbone underneath you. Twist over to the right. And back in. And over to the left. And back to center. One more time. Take it back 1 more little inch. Twist over to the right. Hold at the right. Go a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. And return to center. Over to the left. Relax the shoulders. Pick those elbows up slightly. Twist, twist, twist. Back to center. Roll all the way down. Inhale. Exhale. Take a stretch. Long arms behind you. And reach the hands back up. Peeling yourself up and over to your toes. This time we'll hook the whatever you have around your feet. We'll start our stretching. Reaching forward. And then hook it onto your right foot. And we'll roll all the way down, taking your right leg up to the sky, firming your left leg down. And just check in with your body here. Let your sacrum press down into the mat. Press your right sits bone slightly forward. Start to bend and straighten the leg. Finding a little more length in that hamstring. And holding that leg up and pull back a little bit further. Shoulders relaxed, neck is long. Maybe it comes back a little bit further. Just take 2 more breaths here. And release that, hooking it to the toes. Toes pull down, heel pushes up. Stretching out the calf. So letting the leg be down a little bit further so you're not in the hamstring right now. Let's focus on the calf. And then point and flex. And hold the toes down, push the heel up. And we'll release that, hugging it back to the center of the foot, sprawling the leg open and out to the side for inner thigh. Keep pushing the left hip down. Shoulders are relaxed. Last breath here. Loosen the leg back up to the sky. Letting the leg come a little bit across the body and stretch the hip. Pushing the right hip away. Keeping your pelvis planted down, that right back pocket down into the mat. Let's take 2 more breaths. Can you continue to find some length on your right side body by pushing the hip away? On your next exhale, you'll melt into your spinal twist. Let the ring go to the side and just fall into that spinal twist for a moment. Not forcing it, but using your breath to just release. Keeping the right shoulder down, looking towards your right fingertips. And then we'll extend that leg back out to straight. Feeling how much longer it is than the left, holding onto the ring, peeling yourself up and over, rounding and hooking it onto your left leg. Rolling all the way down, taking the left leg up to the sky. And breathe here. Pushing the left hip away. Just ease into that stretch. Bend and straighten the leg. And then start to keep that leg straight and just melting into that stretch. Firm the right leg down as you pull the left leg back a little bit further. Take a couple more breaths here with the shoulders relaxed. We'll release that, hooking it to your toes. Toes pull down, heel pushes up into your calf. So make sure the leg is down a little bit so you're not just on your hamstring. So we can focus on the calf. And then point and flex. Holding the toes down, heel up. Two more breaths into that calf. And we'll bring it back to center. Externally rotate the leg, spiraling the thigh open and out to the side, but actively stretching it, not letting the leg just fall over. Keep the leg up and extend it out. And each breath helps pull the left toes to the left shoulder a little bit further. Anchor that right hip into the mat. Soften the ribs into the body. And breathe. And the next breath, we'll lengthen that leg back up to the sky. Anchor the back pocket down, push the left sits bone away, and let the leg gently come a little bit across the body, touching through the hip. Think about the left sits bone reaching a little bit further forward to keep the length through your left side. The left back pocket presses into the mat, shoulders are relaxed. We got two more breaths here. And we'll melt into your spinal twist on your next exhale. Bring the right to the side. Looking over to the left as the knee falls to the right. And extend that leg back out to straight. Shake the legs out. So now you're long and loose. Bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. Take your ring or a block or a ball, whatever you have. Hopefully you have something that you can put behind your head, not underneath it, but behind it on the mat. And then bring the heel of the hand on to the other side. So if it's a block, the tall way. If it's the ring, the squishy part, you're gonna focus on getting your pelvis into neutral. So allow your pelvis to come where your hip bones are in line with your puke bone, lumbar curve, push the elbows towards each other, and then just press the ring down or the ball and release. Press down and release. As you do that, can you knit your ribs together a little bit more? Can you press those back bottom ribs down to the mat and draw your abs in, lift out of your pelvic floor? So not a crazy movement, but now you can really think about setting up your neutral spine, engaging your core muscles, and then getting a little tricep activation. Press the bar, the band down, or the ring, whatever you have, and little tiny pulses. Shoulders relax. And release. You're gonna press it down, bring the right leg to tabletop. Extend the right leg straight out, release and press and pull it in. So the leg is just extending out and drawing back to tabletop. The left foot is still on the floor. Every time you pull it in, you press down a little bit further with the hands. And then we're gonna hold the leg out and pulse down, pulse down. Pelvis stays in neutral. Pull the abs in. So a lot of activation in the abs without any kind of wild movement going on. And then draw that knee back in, place it on the mat. Left leg comes up, pelvis stays in neutral. Extend the leg long, press down and draw to tabletop with slight release. Extend and in. Shoulders relaxed, no tension in the neck. Pressing the back bottom ribs down into the mat. On the next one, extend that leg long and hold and pulse down with the ring. Shoulders relax, soft jaw for 4, 3, 2, last one. Bring that leg back to tabletop, place it down on the mat, release slightly, press down and bring one leg at a time up into tabletop. Both legs are up. We're going to extend the legs out at a high diagonal and bring them in. As you extend the legs at the high diagonal, you're pressing down into the ring. And in. 3 more like that. So they don't have to go low to the floor. They can go towards the ceiling. Maybe they'll go straight to the ceiling. Last one. Lengthen and hold. Press down and draw it all the way in. Place the feet on the mat. The ring, actually, while we have it, or whatever your prop is, let's place it in the inner thighs. So feet are still hip width apart, but that ring is going to go deep in the inner thighs, not just in the knees, but get it deep in the inner thigh muscles. Pelvis is in neutral. Soften the ribs down into the body and into the mat. Relax the shoulders. We're going to squeeze and release. Squeeze, hold, and release. Relax the shoulders and the neck. Focus on the inner thighs. Squeeze and release. Breathe. And we're going to squeeze and hold, and a little pulses in, press in. So this could be with a block, a ball, a stuffed animal, whatever you have, just to bring some awareness into those muscles and release. Again, squeeze and hold and pulse in. The top of your pelvic floor and release. Squeeze and hold. Last time, pulse in. A little bit tighter, a little bit tighter. For 5, 4, 3, 2, just hold it. Hold tighter, and release. Take the ring out. Place it to the side. Feet are going hip or all the way out to the sides of the mat. Let the knees windshield wiper in and out. And bring it back to center. Arch and imprint your spine a couple times, and then really lock that pelvis into neutral, bringing the right leg into table, left leg up to meet it. Draw the belly in, march the right toes to the front edge of the mat, and return to center and left. So automatically, I felt my shoulders just tense. I wasn't paying attention. My upper body was like, we'll just control this. So what's happening with your upper body? Is it relaxed? Are your abs doing all of the work? Hopefully, it's the deep transverse abdominis. You can always bring your hands to your stomach to help bring awareness. Pull the abs deeper, not letting them pop up, but always sinking down to create tension in the middle. Let's go a little faster. We're going to go switch and switch, all the while not letting the pelvis move. Lift out of your pelvic floor for 3. Last one. Back to center. Hug the knees in. Take a little stretch. Rock into your low back. And then let's bring legs back to table. And send the legs up to the sky. Anchor your pelvis into place. We're going to turn the toes out. So you're in external rotation, and you're just going to crisscross the legs. They're going to go switch and switch. So really tiny crisscross here. So those inner thighs that we already activated are helping to keep that movement tight. Your abs are working to keep those legs up. Shoulders are relaxed. And we're going to take it down for 8. We're going to go down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and lift. So just adding those small movements to challenge stability and down. And lift. Check in with the rib cage, with the shoulders. One more set, go down. And lift. Little tiny switch over the other and bring them all the way back up and hug everything in. Legs to table, hands to the sky. Inhale, exhale. Press your hands towards your hips and extend your legs at a high diagonal. And drop back in. Inhale, exhale. So the hands pressing forward pushes the legs out. You stay in neutral. And back down. Inhale, exhale. And this one we keep up for the hundreds. Inhale, exhale, lift, lengthen, hold. And then pump the arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. So the legs can stay in parallel. You could have them in turnout. Where are you feeling your best challenge? They could be low towards the mat. They could be up to the sky. They could be in tabletop. Inhale and exhale. Reach those fingertips forward. If it's too much on the neck, put your head on the mat and legs higher to the sky. Inhale and exhale. 2 more sets. Inhale and exhale. Lift out of your pelvic floor and exhale it all the way up. And then drive the legs up, hug it all the way in. Relax the head down. Let your head rock side to side. Take the knees, stir them in the hip sockets. Let go of any hip flexor tension. And reverse it. And bring it back to center. Let's bring the feet down to the mat. Setting up for your bridge. Arms by your sides. The energy of the inner thighs as if you had your ring still in there. Tuck your pelvis. Roll the hips all the way up to the sky. Pushing the hips up. Open through the hip flexors. Push the hips up a little bit higher. Knit your ribs together. Long neck. And then sequentially press your spine back down to the mat. Ground your feet into the mat. Inhale, exhale, rolling all the way up. Finding a lot of length through your front side as you lift. Wide collarbone and sequentially rolling it down. 3 more like that. Every vertebra imprints as it lifts. And then it sequentially presses itself back into the mat. Even through your low back, all the way back down to the tailbone. And peeling all the way up. Hug the thighs slightly together, rolling all the way down. Hold this one up and lift it. From here, we just drop the bum down, press up, squeeze. Lower, press up, squeeze. Knees lengthen forward. Knit the ribs together. Collarbone is wide. Squeeze. And squeeze. Hold this one all the way up. Ground the feet down from the pinky toe to the big toe mound and press little lift up, up, up. So feeling that fire in the back side of the body, reaching the sits bones towards the calves, lift. Long neck for 5. Last one, hold up a little bit higher, lift the heels. Tap the right heel down and lift it back up. Tap the left heel down. So nothing is moving but the heel. As you drop the heel, the pelvis is not affected. The thighs have that energy in between to stay parallel. Last one. Both heels stay lifted. Tap your butt down, press up, squeeze. Lower up, squeeze the glutes. Lots of fire in the backside. You can also add challenge by taking the fingertips up to sky if you feel like you want extra challenge. Not, the hands can stay right down by your sides. Hold the hips up and tiny presses up, pulse up. Draw the abs in for 5. And then we'll lower those heels down, walk the feet to the outside edges of the mat. Dig your heels down, lift your toes up, tap your butt down, press up, squeeze. Down, up, and squeeze. And lift. Hold this one up, tap the knees into touch, and they open out. So the hips stay lifted as you just go in and out, keeping the neck long, eyes to the sky. Hold the knees open and little lifts up, press up. Wrap the ribs in, sending the sits bones forward for 5. And last one, drop the feet down, walk the feet back to hip width apart. March the left leg into tabletop, place it on the mat, march the left leg into tabletop, place it on the mat. 2 more like that. So just weight balance shifting while keeping the pelvis still. We'll meet back with the left leg in tabletop. Push the hips up, pull your pubic bone towards your face slightly so you're not in your low back. Take that left leg up to the sky and then little tap of your toes to the ceiling, lift up. Really feeling the fire in the right hamstring and glute, especially at that insertion point for 5. Hold it up and then place it on the mat. Other leg, table, extend up. Find the length, then little presses up. Relax for 5, 4, so relaxing through the neck. And last one, place that foot on the mat, both hips evenly, press up for 10. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, sequentially rolling it down. And then give the knees a little hug. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh, threading your hands behind the right thigh. Let your tailbone melt down into the mat, pushing your left elbow into your left thigh. Breathe. And other side. Threading the hands behind the left thigh, pushing the right elbow into the right thigh. Let your tailbone go heavy into the mat. One more breath there. And we'll release that, extend both legs long onto the mat. Take a long stretch, reach your arms long behind you. Firm the back of the thighs down. Inhale, exhale. Let's take the hands up over the shoulders, fingertips to the sky, the beach ball in the hands as you peel yourself. Head, neck, and shoulders, vertebra by vertebra, up and over. Reaching forward to your toes. Take a little stretch forward. And then sitting up tall for rolling like a ball, going right into the abdominal series. Balancing on your sits bones, pull your heels towards you, fingertip touch to your ankles. Shift just back from the sits bones, so you're bouncing on your tailbone. Elbows are wide to the sides, relax the shoulders, tiny tuck of the chin, roll back to your shoulder blades. Come back up and balance on your sits bones without letting yourself roll forward. No heels touch the ground. You keep this tiny little ball. You don't want to let the legs fly forward. You want to keep the heels tucking in towards your tailbone. One more time. All the way up, we hold, legs to table, grab behind your thighs, lift and lengthen out of your spine, relax the shoulders down, take the toes up to the sky, and then tap them to the mat. Extend. Maybe you release the hands off the thighs, maybe not. Really lengthen the legs from the low belly. One more time. Meet back in tabletop, and then slowly rolling down. Vertebra by vertebra until your shoulder blades touch. Drop the pelvis into neutral. Extend the left leg long for a single leg stretch. And switch. And switch. And breathe. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Soften the jaw. You have the line between your chin and your chest for 4. Breathe. 3. Pull your abs in. 2. Last one each way. Bring the knees in and relax the head down. Let your head rock side to side. And bring it back to center. Hands up, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, reaching the fingertips towards the ankles, but keeping the knees hovering over the hips. Pelvis in neutral as you extend your arms and legs long at a high diagonal. Circle the arms around to draw the knees in. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bring it to center. Inhale and exhale for 4. Can you draw your belly a little bit deeper? Can you really perfect the form? It's an exercise you know, so you can really think about your form because your muscles are already doing it. Last one, soft with the jaw. And bring it back to center. Relax the head down. Draw circles on the ceiling with your nose. Reverse. And back to center. Take the legs back to table, extend the legs up to the sky, firm the pelvis down. You have your lumbar curve, hands up, float head, neck, and shoulders, extend the left leg long, grabbing gently behind the right thigh, little double pull that leg in, exhale to scissor, little inhales to pull. Double pull in and switch. The legs brush past each other. Inhale, exhale. So maybe you reach up towards your ankle, maybe you reach your fingertips forward and the legs just go on their own. Inhale, exhale. Let's do one more each way. Back to center, both legs up, hug it all the way in and relax. And breathe there. Let's come into double straight leg lower. Bring the feet back down to the mat just to readjust. Make sure you're in neutral. Start with fingertip touch behind the ears, keeping the collarbone super wide. Bring the legs to table. Extend the legs up to the sky. Glue the heels, turn the toes out. Just half a pizza slice up between the feet. Float head, neck, and shoulders up. Draw the belly in. Keeping the pelvis in place, extend the legs long away from you at a high diagonal. Re-engage to the low belly and then float the legs back up. So maybe you bring one hand onto your low abs and feel, are they working? Make sure your low back isn't gonna arch as the legs go away from you. If it starts to, don't lower the legs as far. You got 4 more. Lift out of your pelvic floor as you float the legs back up. Inhale. 2. Last one. Extend all the way up, hug it all the way in and relax. Coming into crisscross, legs to table, fingertip touch behind the ears again. Lifting head, neck, and shoulders, extend left leg long, twist to bring the left shoulder in the direction of the right knee, and back to center. Twist and center. So smooth and controlled, you come up and over the body, not just to the side, come twist up and over, reaching the shoulder towards the knee. Breathe. Exhale all the air out as you twist. Three more each way. 2. And then each way. Bring it all the way back to center, hug it all the way in and relax. Body goes long, extending arms and legs. And we'll bring the hands up to the sky, peeling yourself up and over, taking a dive forward. And we're gonna come into some side lying work. So lay with on your right side. You can have your head propped up on your hand. Actually, let's start all the way down. I want to start in one long line first. But even if you're having any low back issues, you definitely can have your feet slightly forward. But if you feel great, let's keep everything super long for the first one. Feel your bottom waistline lifting up off of the mat. Top hand can be your kickstand. Flexed feet, top leg lifts about the height of your hip. Bottom leg lifts up to meet it, and they both go down together. We do lift, lift, lower, up, up, and down. So your pelvis stays still. As the legs lift, try not to press your low back into them, or I'm sorry, your bottom waistline into the mat. Maybe you put your top hand underneath your waistline and feel that activation through the oblique. And now both legs together, they both lift and lower, lift, hold, and down. So you don't need it to be a huge movement because I want both obliques to be working here. The top one helping to lift, the bottom one helping to stabilize. And then both lift and hold, point the toes, and scissor. With control. Pulling the belly in. So it's not a fast movement, it's super controlled. And bringing it back to center, both legs lower, and they come a little bit further forward. So I don't want you straight now. I want your legs just a little micro inch forward. Head can stay as is, or you can prop it up. top leg lift in line with the hip. Flex that foot and then sweeping it forward, point and lengthen back. Retracing that line forward, point and sweep it back. Flex forward, point and sweep. Breathe. The next one, let's hold the leg back and little kicks back. So firm up the bum and then little pulses backwards. Bring it back to center, spine the thigh open to the sky, extend up to the sky, flex and pull it down. So it needs that external rotation to get the mobility. So the hip socket, you have to turn the femur head in the hip socket. The next one, keep it up to the sky. Spiraling the thigh open, even if you need to turn it open with your hand and draw your circles on the ceiling. Which now that we've been doing some inner thigh activation, hopefully now this is a lot easier in reverse. Not easy, but easier. And then hold it. We flex the foot, point, flex and point, flex and point, flex and hold. Let the leg come forward, straight forward, in line with the hip. Sweep it straight back up. Nice. I like seeing those heels coming towards the camera. I know you're in the right position there. I like that. And pulling forward and lift. 2 more. Forward, lift, forward and hold. Tiny bend and straighten. Bend press. Push your sits bone or push your booty to the back to help keep you in neutral for 3, 2, last 1. Sweep it to the back. Bend both knees and then angle the ankles up. Squeeze the heels together. Push the top hip away. Lift and lower. Wrap the ribs in. Pull the bottom waistline up. Breathe. Squeeze. And then pulse it up, hold it up, pulse up, up. So keep that activation. Keep pushing your top hip away from you. For 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Lower that knee and then pull both knees forward to 90 degrees. Push the top hip away. Ankles in line with the knees. Flex the foot, both feet, and then lift the top leg as far as you can without moving your pelvis and almost touch back down. Lift. Resist as the leg is coming down. Don't let it just fall. Lift and control down. Sweep up. Try to relax the shoulders. Try to keep the length in your waistline even on both sides. The next time the leg comes down, we hold it at that halfway point and draw little circles. Really flex through your foot like your heel is drawing that circle. Push the top hip away from you and reverse. And then we'll lower that leg all the way down and punch it all the way out. Let's prop yourself all the way up and then just swivel your head to the other edge of the mat. All the way down straight. Draw the abs in, pull the bottom waistline up. And then with flexed feet, we lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg, and they both go down. We go lift, lift, and lower. Bottom waistline lifts up. Long neck, soft jaw. So no tension in the upper body. Last one, single, single, double. Both together. We both lift, lower. Super glue the legs together. Lift, so your fishtail, lifting it up and lower. So pelvis is staying still. So your legs can only lift as much as your pelvis is going to stay still. Lift and hold, point the toes, scissor, smooth and controlled. Like you got pinned into the mat. So you can't move that pelvis at all. The legs are just moving. The belly's drawing in. Last one. Bringing it back to center, bring the legs 1 inch forward and lower them all the way down. Head stays down or it goes up onto your hand. Push the top hip away, flex the foot, sweep the leg forward, point and sweep it back. Flex to bring it forward, point and sweep. Flex, and point and sweep. The next time it goes back, hold it back and little tiny pulses back, pulse back, firming up the tush, activating right at the insertion point, bring it back to center, spiral the thigh open as we lengthen to the sky, flex and resist as we bring it down, pressing it up, pulling it down, shoulders relax, lift, extend and pull it down. Lift and hold, spiraling the thigh open, and then little circles to the sky. Little tiny stars. And reverse it. And then we flex that foot and point, and flex and point, flex and point. Hold the flex, let the leg come forward, and sweep it all the way back up. Let it come forward and lift, strengthening up the hips. The next time it goes down, it'll stay down in tiny bend and straighten, press. And then sweep that leg all the way back, bend the knees, angle the ankles up, pull the bottom thigh up, and squeeze the heels together as you clamshell open and close. So the feet could be on the floor, the legs, but we're just adding a little balance challenge. Keep lifting the bottom waistline up off of the mat. Lift, squeeze. And then we hold it up and tiny pulses up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, lower that leg down, bring the knees forward for side hydrants. Push the top hip away, sweep that leg open and closed. Lift and lower. So you've got your neutral spine. You're sending your sits bones or your tailbone to the back. So we're not arching the spine, we're just keeping that natural curve. 2. And we'll bring it down in little circles. And reverse. And lower that leg all the way down, punch it all the way out. And we're gonna roll over onto our stomach, bring the hands right alongside the body, right underneath the shoulders. Hug the elbows into the sides. Press the toes into the mat and press your heels back. Draw the abs in, long neck. Inhale, take an inhale and an exhale. On your next exhale, you're gonna press into your plank. Inhale. Exhale, and we lift all the way up into our plank. And then we take it to a downward dog. And you can run the knees out here. And this downward dog should be feeling a lot better than the first ones. And then pressing both heels back and walk the toes to your hands. And hanging out in your forward fold there. Get our hip width apart. You can soften the knees and just let everything go like we did at the beginning. And then seeing that the feet are set up for great posture, you're going to start to roll your spine up. Vertebra by vertebra until your head is the last thing that lifts, rolling the shoulders all the way down, just standing up long, tall, and strong. Take a nice big inhale up. Exhale. One more time, big inhale up. Exhale it all the way out. And nice work, Pilates Hotties. Thank you for coming to class.